everybody, it is Kendéll Lenice and welcome to Shine with Kendéll Lenice. I have a special treat for you. This is a special edition, an exclusive interview. This was her very first interview, and it is Coach Michele joining me for Shine with Kendéll Lenice.
Shine with Kendéll Lenice. Real talk for real people. Let's shine together.
Welcome to Shine with Kendéll Lenice. I am your host, transformational life coach, Kendéll Lenice. I'm also an author, a content creator, a speaker, a healing coach, a certified meditation practitioner, and a lover of people. I want to see you win, and that's what this podcast is about. It's a life podcast. You'll get some live life coaching. You'll get some amazing guests, and most importantly, you'll heal and laugh. It's all about education, elevation, and entertainment. I don't know how you stumbled upon this podcast, but I'm so glad you did. If you haven't already, please subscribe and rate if you can. We are available on all podcast outlets. Also, follow me on social media at Kendéll Lenice across the board. Now on to this week's show. All right, we are here. Again, I have a special treat for you, Coach Michele. She is known as the seed thrower, but we're going to do this podcast like we do the other podcasts, and then I am going to play her interview. So I had an opportunity to interview her on Sheen Magazine's for the magazine, right? I was going to do a write-up. And sometimes when you do a write-up, it doesn't give what I wanted to give. I'm a great writer, yes. I love to write, yes. But sometimes you don't hear someone's spirit in the interview because we're just writing the words. And Michele and I became fast friends. We had a lot in common. We're both coaches. There are so many different conversations that we had within one conversation before I interviewed her, during the interview, and after. And Michele was amazing. We were trying to kind of connect when she came to my city, and I was telling her I was having an event in my city, and I told her the date, and she wasn't able to come. But you know what the seed sower, the seed thrower, because she's a seed sower too, thrower did? She threw some seeds my way. She donated to my event, which is Sisterhood Supper. So it's where this is the second one. I get women together. I empower. We break bread. We eat. That's break bread. For those that don't know, we play games. We laugh. We cry. And we just love on one another. So sisterhood is a powerful thing. And for her to be able to meet me and sow seeds into what I was doing just shows the type of person she is. And that's what it's about, sisterhood. But we're going to start this show like we do any others with this week's Life Note, and then on to Coach Michele's interview. All right, it's time for this week's Life Note. All right, so this week's Life Note. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome to Shine with Kendéll Lenice. Make sure you subscribe where you can, leave a comment if you can, and rate this podcast. But most importantly, don't be stingy. Share this around. So the Life Note for those tuning in for the first time is a quote or a saying that carries us through the theme of the show, through the week, or through the rest of your life. So this one is from Talib Kweli. And he says, a flower that grow in the ghetto know more about survival than the one fresh meadow, from the fresh meadow. And he did it like a rhyme, so I'm going to try to read it again. A flower that grow in the ghetto know more about survival than the one from fresh meadows. Can't you hear that flow? But that's this week's Life Note. All right, so we are going to join, already in progress, this interview with Coach Michele, and then I'm going to come back to the end at the end to wrap it all up. But enjoy this interview with Coach Michele, the seed thrower. Also, find out who gave her that name and why they gave her that name. Tune in. Hey everybody, it is Kendéll Lenice, the Remix Coach. Welcome to Sheen Magazine's interview, a Kendéll Lenice interview. All right, today I have Coach Michele. She's known as the seed thrower, throwing seeds of knowledge to create industry leaders. She is an entrepreneur, a business coach, and a home care consultant dedicated to making a difference in the lives of her clients and the elderly population. Coach Michele, welcome to Sheen Magazine.
Hello. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Kendéll. I'm so excited.
I'm excited to have you, and we talked a little bit off this interview, so this is not going to be the last time you hear our voices together. Yes?
Yes. Amen. I'm excited.
Amen. All right, so let's just get right into it. You say that you are a seed thrower. This is a quote from you. I am a seed thrower. The seeds I throw are knowledge I share, which I have seen blossom into hundreds of beautiful flowers, i.e., hundreds of 6 to 7 figure businesses over the years. Explain that, because the eyes are looking and the ears are listening.
Yes. You know what? I credit the seed thrower, which is a trademark that I have, from my husband. I was on a conference call with, actually a Facebook Live, with quite a few of my tribe members. And I was telling them how I am a tool and that they can use me. And my husband jumped in and said, baby, no, you're not a tool for people to use. He said, if someone wants to take a hammer, they're going to bang it and bang it and bang it and throw it on the ground. You are a seed thrower. Ooh. And when he said that, I really started thinking about it and said, okay, no, I don't want to be used like a tool, right? So you look at a tool bag, you look at somebody's, garage, and no, that's not who I am. So I really, after that live, I started to dissect that and really question him, like, what does that mean? And he said, baby, the knowledge that you share, those are seeds, and you are just putting them out there for individuals that are aspiring to make a change in their lives, aspiring to break generational curses, and you've done that over the last 9 years on a consistent basis. So when you throw that knowledge, those are seeds for individuals to pick up, plant, water, and nurture, right? Because we all can, want others to be successful. Sometimes we want others to be more successful than they want for themselves. However, if we throw those seeds, when I throw them out, and then through my coaching program, I'm literally teaching them how to take care of those seeds, how to plant them in good soil, good ground, and then how to water them consistently, how to nurture and pray over those seeds, to watch them blossom. And then once those seeds start to blossom into flowers, then I teach them how to reap what they've sown, and then meaning they share that with their family, their kids, so they can be that beautiful flower to create those new generations versus, the adversity that so many of us have in our past.
I love that.
I am the seed thrower.
I love that. I love that. And I'm the remix coach, and and this is not about me, so we're not going to talk about that now. But I believe that you should have in your name what you're doing, because that's going to allow people to ask questions, and ultimately you are a people person to help people grow. And that's what you're doing, like you said, to blossom into beautiful flowers. I think that's awesome. All right, so your greatest desire is to empower people, especially women, and you want women to be financially free. Let's talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, and I help men as well, but my focus is on women, and women that come from, I would say, colorful backgrounds. And when I say colorful backgrounds, because my background is extremely colorful. So I am born and raised in the South Bronx, and fast forward, to my young adulthood, I was in an abusive relationship, so I literally had to flee my city with just what I had and my kids, right? So when I think about all the things that I went through in my life, domestic abuse and having to start over and being homeless and living in shelters with my kids and things like that, I really want to help individuals, women in particular, that have those type of colorful backgrounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because so many times we tend to be products of our environment. So I like to show people that look like me and came from spaces I came from,
Mm-hmm.
that you can live out your true heart's desire. You can have more. Sometimes people think they have to settle, right? Women say, I'm just going to be a great mom. I'm just going to be a great wife. I'm just going to, get my college degree.
Mm-hmm.
And they put all this just before things. And I like to let people know that they can have it all. There's no such thing as sacrifice. I can only have this. No. Holistically, we can have all that we want. So when I specifically talk about women, I want to bring them up so they can make a difference in their current situation, which is ultimately going to change the lives of their kids, their spouses, whomever that's within their circle of influence, to be more and to have more and know that it's okay, right? So in conjunction with that, so many of us that come from poverty backgrounds, right? Like I just thought of myself as a girl sitting on the steps, in the building above the bodega.
Mm.
So it's like, okay, you know what I mean? So when I, as a teen mom, I was taught and coached, if you will, on how to go down to public assistance, not tell them who your baby daddy is, so you can get welfare.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's what we know and that's what we're taught, and we bring that into our adult life. So when I'm able to focus on women of all backgrounds, but majority of my tribe are women just like me, right? So prior to us, coming live here having this conversation, we talked a little bit, and I was saying how representation is so important.
Mm-hmm.
So I like for people to see me, hear me, and then I'm able to inspire them and help them as they aspire to become entrepreneurs and break those generational curses and make a difference in their lives and in our community.
I absolutely love that. Well said. And I commend you for that. I honestly do. As I enter this last question, I really want to ask you, as you said, you come from a colorful background. And of course, God has kept you all the way through. What was the biggest gem that you learned from your background? Because you can talk about the negative things, but I know, and you're not talking about the negative things, but when people are from certain backgrounds, they speak about the negative things. But what was that gem that you learned that kind of built your muscle from your experience?
I would say the gem, right? There's so many, but the major gem that I still hold on to today, and I'm going to put quotes on this, Hoodnuity, right? Hoodnuity. And then meaning that I love and I pull off my hoodness, if you will.
Yeah.
Just that survival. So that survival is my gem, right? How do I survive? How do I, take adversity and make it into something positive? How do I perceive a situation? How do I always win, right? From a very humble perspective. One of the rap songs is like, all I do is win, win, win.
Mm-hmm.
So how do I always win? I think back to, how did I get out of this? I was in this situation, how did I get out of it? So I'm always solution driven, where I feel like there's nothing that can come my way, that God allows to come my way, that I cannot conquer, regardless of what it is. So I'm always pulling off my strength from the hood that I love, like, this too shall pass. I got this. You got this, sis. I got this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the biggest gem. If I had to select one, is just that awareness and that confidence that I am going to win.
I absolutely love that. It was such a joy to speak with you today. And just in this small piece, you have given some gems yourself, and I hope that women across this globe hear this and read this and say, you know what, if Coach Michele can use what she's been through to better herself and other women, then I can do it too. Now, I just thank you so much. Tell the people how they can get in contact with you if they want your services or if they just want to hear you speak.
Yes, thank you so much for this opportunity. The easiest way is I am Coach Michele. I can be found across multiple platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I am Coach Michele, and Michele has one L.
I love that. Now, this, everybody, is Michele L. Williams, not to be confused with Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child, but this Coach Michele is still walking in her destiny. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You have an amazing day, and God bless.
You too. Thank you, everybody. This is Coach Michele. Make sure you follow her on all social media platforms. This is Kendéll Lenice, the Remix Coach for Sheen Magazine. All right, so what did you think? What did you think of Coach Michele? I know you got a lot from that, because even re-listening, I got a lot from that. And I'm so excited for her and how she turned her life around. She said that she was from South Bronx. I got to do it. I'm sorry. South Bronx, South Bronx. Okay, it's out of my system. When she said it, I wanted to do it then, but I wanted to keep it professional. Now this is my podcast and I can let it out. But she said that she was in an abusive relationship where she had to flee her city. She went from homeless now to making six figures and helping other people do the same. So let's just get right into the wow moment, the takeaways from today's show. This week's wow moment, takeaways from today's show. So right before that, I gave a small takeaway, but the biggest takeaway and the wow moment for me is when she said Hoodnuity. Not ingenuity, Hoodnuity. She said she pulls off her hoodness because that is her survival. That is so powerful because what people might think meek beginnings or humble beginnings or I'm from the hood or I didn't have this, and they use it as a bad thing. You know what I mean? And she said, you know what? It doesn't matter where I'm from. It matters what I do with where I'm from. So you can pull off of anything in your past to better your present and your future. You decide, you get to make the choice and decision. Do I use this for my power or do I use this to stay in a weak position? Yes, that's what you have to decide. So listening to her, I hope she inspired you to be better. I hope she inspired you to not use where you come from as an excuse, but as a right to soar in this world. Coach Michele, I thank you so much. And she is known again as the seed thrower. And you heard that her husband said, "No, you're not a tool. You're a seed thrower." And she threw seeds my way. And I thank you. And I'm just so excited about where her future in this space, being on the other side, being interviewed. And I'm just excited to see where that goes. And I wanted to give Michele another opportunity. So she will be a part of my panel. What I've come to know about love. It's going to be a live panel on my YouTube channel. So subscribe now, Kendéll Lenice. Go to YouTube right now and subscribe to my channel because you're not going to want to miss this. And if you're just new to me, my panels have changed lives on YouTube. That's not my quote. I've had so many amazing panels. I've had a panel with all black men. I've had a panel with all black women. Then I had a panel where they came together and they apologized to one another and never met them. I've had a panel on colorism. I've had a panel on sex and why people cheat. And I just want to have conversations and change the narrative. So if this is your first time tuning in to Shine with Kendéll Lenice, I hope and I pray that it is not your last time joining me on Shine with Kendéll Lenice. So if you can rate this podcast, please do so. If you can subscribe or comment, please do that. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Shine with Kendéll Lenice. God bless y'all. Peace. Thanks so much for listening. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at Kendéll Lenice. And also go on over to my YouTube channel and subscribe. Again, thank you so much for your support. God bless y'all. Peace. Thanks for listening. This has been a Kenny Lynn production.